Hey guys, what's up? Time for a late review. I didn't intend on putting up this late, but here is my review for The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Now, in case you guys didn't know, I've been a little excited for Catching Fire. Not overly excited, because the dozens of videos that I've made on this topic and the intense amount of fangirling that I've done on this channel about this movie. Just it's all a ploy. It was just a lie. It was a lie. Now, if you actually did buy that BS, then I guess my acting skills are a lot better than I thought they were. If you didn't, then thank God I don't plan on pursuing acting as my career. But anyway, so yes, I have been immensely excited for this film. I mean, granted, I tell you guys a lot, like, I have all these different books as, like, oh, these are my favorites. Like, this series is my favorite. No, this is my favorite. No, this is my favorite. That's because I love a lot of book series. Like, I don't like to pick favorites because I love so many, and so many are great, and they all jumble around in my head. I've never been one to pick a number one favorite. I've always been one to list favorites. Like people will be like, "Oh, my favorite is this." I will give you a spiral just filled with my favorites. That is how I work. But if I had to pick a favorite book series, it would probably be the Hunger Games trilogy because it's just grown with me since I first read it. It's stuck with me. And it's given me just like it's inspired me so much. Like it's what got me into reading. Like was like the first Twilight was like the first real book series that I read, and it's the one that I think kickstarted me reading in general. But The Hunger Games was the one that encouraged me to keep going after Twilight and The Hunger Games. Like it's the one that it was just like, yes, you loved me, but don't forget to explore the other possibilities that there are in literature. And so it's hold a special place in my heart, pretty much since I've read the first book. And I know the same goes with a lot of people I know. Like I have a friend who doesn't do reading pretty much at all, and he's read the first two books in this series, and he's gonna read Mockingjay. So that alone should tell you just the amount of and the effect that these books have on you. And I think that translates so perfectly into Catching Fire. I don't think it translated as perfectly in The Hunger Games. Granted, I still love The Hunger Games movie with all my heart. It's still one of my favorites. But Catching Fire is just on a whole nother level of how well it just captures the feeling of reading these books and of experiencing this world and the how much it latches onto you and it does not let go even long after you've finished either reading the book or you finish seeing this movie. It sticks with you and it never lets go. This is a movie you are not going to forget. Like I don't think you will ever forget this movie. No matter how much you may hate the story, how much you may hate the characters, the acting, whatever, you will never forget seeing The Hunger Games Catching Fire. I know I certainly won't. I went at the 9 o'clock premiere on Thursday, November 21st, and I left completely shaken. Like, the entire theater was just filled with excitement. You could just feel the excitement in the air. You could feel the anticipation of the fans who had desperately been waiting years upon years for this film, depending on how long ago they read the books and everything. Um, and just you felt it, and like everyone was like talking amongst themselves like before the movie started. When the movie started, dead silent. No one talked at all. Not a single voice was heard except from either laughter, from gasp, or from outright just true expression of emotion. And that's something not many films can accomplish nowadays. A lot of films are very rushed, and they are just there as a short little adrenaline rush or a short little escape from reality, for just a short little span of 2 hours, and then you leave and you forget about it and you move on to something else. With this film, people are not moving on. They are sticking with this film. There are people who are going to see it twice, 3 times, 4 times. The numbers just pile up. The amount of viewings are just piling up. If the box office didn't show that to you, then I don't know what will. Because, I mean, look at the box office. It made 161 million here in America alone. Worldwide, it made 307 in just its first 3 days. Well, maybe a little more because some countries did get it before us. But, I mean, in general, just the 3 tiny days, it made $307 million worldwide. And it is the fourth highest opening of all time, right behind The Avengers, Iron Man 3, and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Now, we're going to exclude Iron Man 3 from this portion of the video because I pretended that movie never happened. But something that The Avengers and Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 had in common was that they were movies that stuck with you. And they were movies that you remember like months and months after watching it. And they give you true, genuine emotion. The Avengers left you with such excitement and just the thrill of reading comic books and just the thrill of a superhero movie that I feel like is kind of being lost nowadays because of the fact that everyone wants to copy Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, which I don't hate the Dark Knight trilogy or anything for doing that. It was perfect for Nolan's world, but I feel like for other worlds it shouldn't really apply. There was so much emotion when people went and saw Deathly Hallows Part 2 because it was the end of a beloved franchise that people have stuck with years upon years upon years. Like, I mean, the Harry Potter books are very close to reaching 20 years old. Like, the first book came out almost 20 years ago. It was like 17, I think? Maybe? I don't know. But, yeah, those books have been out for a long time, and the movies were out for 10 years. And it's something that it stuck with you. And I feel like Catching Fire does the same thing. It's a film that sticks with you. I cried 7 times during this movie. That is the most I've ever shown any kind of emotion for any film before. I mean, as far as like just evoking such raw and pure emotion that it's not forced out of you. It's not ripped out of you. It's not cheap. It's something you have to personally be able to feel for these characters, for this world, for this story. It's not something that can just be bought. It's something that has to be earned, and this film earns any emotion it can evoke out of its audience. The acting in this film is top-notch. The cinematography is great. The storytelling is wonderful. The emotion is just intense in this movie. Everything about it I thought was just perfect. It was everything it needed to be and more. It was one of those rare instances where a film not only delivers on the expectations provided by its fans, but exceeds those expectations, moves beyond them, and gives the fans and any moviegoer something worthwhile. It's something I have personally not seen since The Dark Knight back in 2008. That is a long time, and it's one of those experiences that ranks up there with the first time you've ever seen Star Wars, the first time you ever seen Nolan's trilogy, like the Lord of the Rings movies, the Harry Potter films. It is one of those experiences that you do not want to miss in this lifetime. Catching Fire is by far the best film of this year, and in all honesty, it's my favorite film of all time. It exceeds The Nightmare Before Christmas. It exceeds The Dark Knight. It exceeds Star Wars. It exceeds Harry Potter. It exceeds Lord of the Rings. It exceeds everything for me. It was everything I could have wanted out of a film. It's everything I could have wanted out of just anything, really. It was beautiful. It was amazing. I didn't want to leave the theater after seeing this movie. And I've seen it twice now, and I'm still planning to go back and see it. Like, at least, like, 3 more times. That's how much this film has affected me. I am so excited for Mockingjay. I have so much love and faith for Francis Lawrence as a director now. I have so much respect for Lionsgate as a studio, considering that, which is a lot to say, considering that this is the same studio who made the Saw movies, which I cannot stand for the life of me. This film has honestly changed the way I view film and the way I view adaptations of books or anything, an adaptation of anything. This is the standard, I think, that needs to be met with any kind of adaptation now. Nothing below that. Nothing below this film. And that is why I am giving Catching Fire the highest possible rating I can give a film on this channel, and it still won't be enough. A 5 out of 5 stars. Alright, so comment down below what you thought of Catching Fire. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever your opinion may be, I want to know. And I want to know if this film has affected you in any way that it has affected me. And actually, comment down below while you're at it, what film has affected you the way this film has affected me. What is your Catching Fire if it's not Catching Fire? So comment down below, and I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe, and this is Movie Nerd 15, signing out.